Hey all, it's just a super quick intro, see how you're all keeping. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and give us a comment because that would be much appreciated. And yeah, there's a little project at the beginning which I think is really quite interesting, so I hope you enjoy it. So ta-ta for now.
Hey ho, right, I'm going to try something completely different. As the Royal Air Force goes over the top. I always used to think it used to be a sign that my son will come home because he used to be in the RAF and every time it happened he would come and visit. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to give this a go. I honestly don't know whether it's going to work. I've seen it done on big scale and obviously I want to do it on a tiny scale. So if you want to see how to do and make a proper basket, or maybe see the technique slightly better, I've got to say this, it was inspired by a lady called Sally Pointer. So look her up, she's great, she does a lot of medieval, all that kind of stuff, natural dyeing. You just rub this, I'm just making the most of this lavender and taking the seeds off it, obviously. As you can see, I'm not making a very good job of it. But yeah, so this is lavender from my garden. I've not used too much because I think I only need a small amount. Right, so that's what we want. I've taken all the bits off. Like I'm saying, we're going to, I'm not sure about that one, but we'll keep it anyway. We're going to soak the stalks for half an hour and then we're going to see if they sort of feel more supple, and then we're going to wrap them in their wet state but in a cloth. So yeah, it's a really nice method. Okay, well now I'm going to wrap it into a cloth. She says it doesn't matter if it's damp or wet, so I'm just going to sprinkle it with a little bit of water as well, just to give it a bit extra. So we're just wrapping that up to let it equalise. That was the word she used. I've just been and watched the video again, just so I know what I'm doing. Now she included like the knobbly bits as part of the basket to look pretty. I'd like to do the same. Very quickly, I went over my footage yesterday and yeah, I hadn't got some of it on camera, so I just thought I'd go over a few techniques with you of this. It's very simple. So when you're starting it off, you just wrap. This is a bit fiddly. If you're using the ends like me, you don't have to. You could just go straight to the stalk, but I wanted these bits in. And I've got a new stand now, so hopefully filming should get a little bit smoother. I've got my cat here watching. How do I know this is going to go horribly wrong? Right, so all the fluffy bits have been wound with the cotton. So then you just take the end and form it into a circle. Yes, Clarence, I can see you're very interested. And then, obviously this isn't held together at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit awkward for your first stitch. Take it round. You're going through the centre really until you've got far enough around to start going through the row below, which won't be long. Probably keep your stitches a bit closer than mine, but I'm just trying to show you quickly. And like I say, persevere and get that centre closer.
That is all there is to it. And then you just keep going round. And instead of going into the middle, you'll go into the one below, which will be there. Something else I started last night, but I hadn't got the time to carry on. So that's another little experiment. That's going to be a little rug. So what I thought is, my next cotton could be a different colour. And then carry on. I'll soak some more and probably just cut these off because they'll be a bit brittle now. Add some more in and add some more different colour cottons, and I thought it'd be quite sweet as a rug. So you can, that's what I'm saying. It's you can see I've got neater from the basket just by a little bit of practice. It's only my second one in, so yeah, it's a technique that's quite nice. And you don't have to use cottons as well. I think you could use more natural material, maybe raffia, or she does mention like different things you could use, but like she said, she's just using what's more available to people, so I'm doing the same and it suits what I'm doing anyway. So yeah, so there you go. Just so you can see me adding this one in. As you can see, I snipped the other one off. There's the end tail of that one. I possibly should have waited before I unchanged my cotton first, but I didn't, so never mind. I'm sure we'll manage. Right, I'm going to see if I can catch that bit there. That over the twisted stems, through the row below, and through that, and then give it a good tighten. All right, we'll do one more under there. Bear in mind, I don't do tutorials. If you want to see her method, like I said, Sally Pointer, she's the girl. She does this sort of thing all the time. This is my very first time. Whoa, have I lost that thread there? No. Right, so through there. But like I say, the difference is I'm doing a blanket type stitch because it's just helping me keep everything nice and tight. And a little bit neater too. So through here. Try not to jump too far ahead. Through that last row there, can you see? Where's the, there, can you see that's through the row below? Tighten it up. There you have it. That is actually working out a lot neater than where I've started off, you can see, but it's just getting into the swing of it. I'm sure if I did another one, I could probably do it better, but I still like the look of it. It's cute. And like I say, I'm just shaping it as I go along. You can manipulate it a bit. I've got a bit of a hole there, so if that was a real basket, that might be a bit of a disaster, but it's not. So yeah, there, that gets it round. Right, I'll get back to you in a bit. Oh, and the other thing is I'm keeping the stalks in the cloth. This is a bit damp because that's going to keep them, if you keep redamping them, apparently it makes them more brittle, so I'm just keeping them damp, help them keep bendable. Right, this is where I'm at. I quite like it. It's certainly different. Right, so what I'm going to do to finish off, I'm going to cut these so they like that. like that, and like that. So they should all really, yeah, a bit more there, like that. And then that way they should lie down flattish, hopefully. I'm near the end of my cotton too. I want to try and make a handle for it. Now, there wasn't a handle in Sally's version, so I don't know how to make a basket handle. Like I said, this is my first attempt at weaving. So weaving, yeah, it is weaving, isn't it? Basketry, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, don't know. But there it is, a little basket. Right, let's see if we can make a handle of some kind. Right, I'm going to try and make a handle. I have a thought in mind. So I quite like the thought of having these little ends. All right, that's the end. That's that little end that I had through to secure it there. So, oh, that's cute. Right. So right, I'm just looking at that. So that's probably not off, that's far off the right thing, isn't it? I don't think I need to. I was thinking 2 of those, but I think that'll be enough. Right. Okay, we'll give it a bit more wrap here and there to give it a bit of security. Right, I'm just finishing it off by bringing my thread through the basket like that, if I can. Come on. And I'll just take it round. There's like a big stitch there, so I'll take it round there a few times. Back through. I think it's just a matter of finishing it off how you can. That's it, that'll do. Right, and there we have one little cute basket. It smells quite nice. And you know what? I think I'm going to fill it with some, I might fill it with some lavender, or I might fill it with something else, we'll see. But that's going to look very sweet in my house. There you go. She's been out and picked vegetables and put it in it already, bless her. Hard worker is our Beth. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Out to the barn again, Snout. Let's see what's out there. Hello, Barbara. You're looking nice there. Oh, what's these? These are apples. These will go nice for the harvest festival. Watch me feet, Snout. Oh, I've dropped one. Apples, that is. Oh, jiggly, jiggly, juggly, juggly. Oh, dropped them again. Oh, here comes Beth.
You've bruised all my lovely apples.
Give it to the pig.
Oh, well, looks like cider it's going to be. Bye from Tobias.
Right, on a second reflection, I've had a better look. Although I think it's all old, I'm just not convinced it's how it originally was. I mean, this band in here is the same as this band in here, if you can see. Hang on. Right, I'll show you there, look. That banding is the same. Can you see? So they definitely belong together. I'm just wondering if at some point this has come off, or been off, taken off, and they've cut this design out of it and then added these pillars on. And also the other piece that makes me wonder is here. That pattern looks like it's carrying on. It might not do. It might finish there in an arch. I don't know. But it just doesn't, I don't know. And obviously you can see a gap there. And I know dolls' furniture wasn't always made to the best. But, like I say, I just thought I'd bring you back to have a closer look at that. And that burn there, that's either somebody's had a candle on here and sort of to light up the doll's house and then ended up burning that, which is possible. I don't know the reason it'd be there. And the shelf as well. I don't think they're the right shelves. You can see the mark where the old one was. Or where that one was and it's been moved. But yeah, I still like it. I still actually do really like it. And to be fair, it wasn't a lot of money. And possibly the person sold it knowing that it wasn't quite right. But I do wish people would say. But it was up to me to look at the pictures, but it is very hard to tell from pictures. But this here has just been definitely, I think that's definitely been cut out and rubbed down. But yeah, love to know your opinion. Right, I've got one of the little doors off. I just now have to decide whether to take the wood, the brown down. It is, like I say, it's just a little bit oppressive. But I mean, the chiselling work is, as you can see, not that good. But at the end of the day, the whole idea is for it to look a bit prettier. So as much as I should probably keep it, I think I'm also thinking about just getting rid of a bit of it. I mean, it's literally had one coat. There's not much on there at all. Oh, this is, you see, this is why the channel's called Dollhouse Dilemma. It's such a dilemma. Do I do it or don't I do it? Is it wrong to do it? It's my house at the end of the day. I know, but I don't want to ruin anything that's historic about it, and it just makes everywhere look so dark. I'm gonna do it. Okay, let's put a bit of wax on. I've gone over with very fine wool. It's dried off. It's still rough in places, but that's the way it was built, so that's the way it's staying. The brass will go over as well, it'll protect it a little bit. Right, I'll let it dry and then we'll polish it. Right, let's get it polished. I mean, it'll take more than one coat to get a really good finish on it. Right, I'll give it another coat and get back to you. Right, I've taken my iPad off the the lamp it was resting on, just so you can see what the finished result's like. You can see the shine on that. It may be gnarly wood, but it still looks beautiful. Well, I must admit, I started off not knowing if this was the right thing to do, but I think it's just going to make the house so much prettier. It still looks farm-like, as in like a bit rough. Well, it's definitely rough and ready, but yeah, I'm really pleased I did it now. I love it. I think that's really nice now. Now here's the 3 doors together. There's one still fixed in place. I cannot get it off. My husband can't get it off, so rather than damage anything, I'm going to strip it in place, which is going to make life a bit more difficult, but that's what these houses are about. Anyway, as you can see, the 3rd one there has been painted, like the one that's still in the house as well. That's been painted and is of a slightly different wood. I would say that's just more like a more yellowy pine. I don't really know what wood that is, to be honest, but just look at that beautiful knot on that. It's also rough and ready, but beautiful in its own way. And hopefully next time we'll be putting them back and sorting the stairs out with some carpet. But we'll have to wait and see. Who knows what next week's going to bring. So, ta-ta for now.